and unmute. Yay! Let's see. Jim, can you pick up that microphone and say something?
Hello.
Say it one more time.
One more time.
Yay! One more time. We're gonna celebrate. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. These are not on. These were muted. We could have been 45 minutes in. No one even knows I said sad song is over. Right, it was. So sweet to notice what is available when the emphasis of our experience isn't focused on our wondrous ideas of who we are, all the wondrous concepts, all the wondrous interpretations, all the wondrous descriptions. And if there is an emphasis of descriptions and identity and time and space and being someone somewhere, someone going somewhere, to notice how empty they are. Not one concept existing on its own accord, not one thought existing on its own accord, not one identity existing on its own accord. This here, this moment, this aliveness, this that is beaming as you're right where you are-ness, this that is seeing us, sneezing us, loving us, breathing us, this existing as this here, with each chew, with each bite, with each nibble. How sweet to come together to notice the effortlessness of this that is, this that holds all, this that embraces all, this sweet, uninterrupted welcome of who you are, of what is here. Yesterday was Guru Purnima, Guru Purnima, which is a beautiful kind of Hindi holiday honoring, celebrating one's teachers, one's guides, one's masters. There's also some astrological moon component to it that I'm not too familiar with. But from the space of honoring, loving, existing as pure gratitude for one's teachers, uh, teachers across the board, life as the Satguru, and the teacher of, we had many lessons as to what not to be, who not to be, how not to act, how not to engage in this hologram. And also the obvious teachers, purely reflecting who we are, purely reflecting what is already existing, even if it's a sense of something longing to emerge, something longing to come forward. And so very sweet. I just spent all day, I couldn't stop weeping, I couldn't stop tearing up, and just pure gratitude for my teachers, pure gratitude for this life, pure gratitude for this invitation, pure gratitude for this invitation that has appeared in every culture, in every path, throughout the ages. This one moment that has never known an age, this one moment that has never known a culture, this one moment that has never known a particular language, a particular code of conduct or way of being. But this that pierces through all phenomena, pierces through all time and space to meet itself, to be here as itself, celebrating the wondrous sense of evolution and learning and growing, and how wonderful, and so much space for that. Like this poem that I wrote says, it's what I'm wearing the t-shirt today. Human being, yes. Human becoming, that too. But mostly human beautiful. mostly human beautiful, human dreaming, hmm human awakening, that too, but mostly human beautiful, human breathing, yes, human dying, that too. That too, but mostly human beautiful. Such an honor. It was really sweet, life as a teacher, dysfunction, a major teacher, control, being exploited as a teenager in a boy band, and all the different forms of abuse that have appeared in those particular situations. And somehow, after my father passed away, there was this internal fire of inquiry and questioning. What is real? What's here? What are we missing? What are we overlooking? What There has to be another way. There has to be another way. Especially having the supreme luck of being a part of a subculture of human beings who have reached the so-called pinnacle of what it was to be human in terms of fame or money or prestige or respect, or and yet most of them were just toddlers having a temper tantrum every other second. So I was really curious, what the fuck is going on up in here? What's happening now? What's going on? So such a sweet glitch, grace in the matrix. That moment I stepped off the helicopter to film a music video in Machu Picchu, and the surprise of noticing that any sense of who I ever was but a thought that didn't even happen. Any sense of a world, of a universe, of an angelic realm, of this dimension, that dimension, any description, wondrous, wondrous appearances of phenomena, but not absolutely so. And how beautiful to notice every single emanation, expression, thought, concept, idea, whether it be a sense of freedom or a sense of suffering, each phenomena equally announcing, equally confirming, equally serving as evidence of the benevolence that they appear in, the benevolence that they dissolve in, the benevolence that just is. And so I love in the same poem, Human Beautiful, there's a line that says, those moments are this moment. So even though with the wondrous limitation of language that we have and the wondrous power of story, and story is so powerful and also has its limitations, there may be moments I'll be speaking about a past or about someone experiencing something, and still this moment with itself, this moment. How wonderful that we can think of a second ago. How wonderful that we can think of 2 seconds from now. This now does not move, only ever here, only this experiencing itself, regardless of phenomena, regardless of sensations, regardless of experience. This here as itself. It was so interesting standing there where standing was not even possible, standing in a planet where a planet was not even possible, seeing lama and ruins, and wow, not even totally possible, tiptoeing, sound devotee, not even possible. So good. That sound devotee, as a devotee calls himself, but we laugh at it. It's so funny. Ah, so sweet, so very sweet. But all that to say, the sweetness of even so, recognizing that there was no human being on the planet, really, this sweet little boy had a desire to hear some confirmation. You know, I got back home from Peru, living in Peru for 2 years, and I was longing for confirmation. I was reading all kinds of spiritual books, and there was a touch, there was a hint, there was a pointing, but mostly re engaging mind again, mostly re engaging identity again. I couldn't find a chakra. I couldn't find. When I really looked, when I told the truth, and it really wasn't that hard. Just one moment of seeing. I couldn't find all these things that I was supposed to fix and I was supposed to align and I was supposed to. Wondrous that that totally has its place. This is not the opposite of that or the belittling of that. That's wonderful and gorgeous and exciting and adventurous, and that's a resonant path. How beautiful. Each path has its, I love how Nisargadatta says, all is necessary until it's not. Everything necessary until it's not. How beautiful that this moment isn't limited to any idea of freedom. As Bjork says, I tried to organize freedom. How Scandinavian of me. Freedom is free. Free, 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 free. And I was working at a Wild Oats. This was before they became Whole Foods. And for lunch, I talked to people while I was working, at the different, I was working at like the deli area, and then I was working at like the place where there was all the mineral blushes and all the hydrosols and all the vitamins and I just have conversations with people, and people started coming and asking if they can come and sit with me for lunch. And I'd sit in the little grass right by the parking lot, and some people would come. And one day, this woman said, "I love your satsang," and I'd never heard that before. That word. I was like, "What is that?" And they invited me to a video satsang of a woman named Gangaji. What's funny is when I heard Gangaji, I a couple hours later, I was like, "What was the name?" And then I was like, "Was it Ramtha?" Because somebody had given me a whole Ramtha video series. And I was like, oh, this is so very entertaining and such a wonderful uh, gateway for particular energetic matrices. I can see how that serves to some degree. And also how there's a moment all of that needs to be let go of. So I was initially like, no, I don't think I'm going to go to the video set song. I appreciate the wisdom of an Atlantean who's 26,000 years old, or I can't remember how old he's supposed to be. But I was like, I'd love to question him about time. And it was so fun. Well, anyway, I went, and it wasn't Ramtha. It was Gangaji. It's this beloved right here. And it's so sweet that Stuart's here today, having worked with her for many years. Such an honor. And literally, I sat down to watch video. I totally recommend it if you haven't seen it. It's called River of Freedom. And in that video, if memory serves me right, there's a moment where she says, if I'm appearing in your consciousness, it's to simply say yes. And there was such an explosion of joy of like, yay, there are other beloveds on the planet that are noticing this, that are noticing the ease of being, noticing the simplicity of what is, noticing that it's not a race to enlightenment. It's not something that we need to strive for, that we need to be the ones to do, or that we need to be the ones to accomplish. How beautiful that there's other human beings recognizing this that is equally distributed in all phenomena, all expression, all being. This here with itself, this loving awareness, as Ram Dass calls it, here as itself, just as the moment is. Sometimes when we have a taste of this, to the ego self, it could feel really huge, perfectly so. It kind of gets us in the door to some degree. But innocently, without having an education in how mind works, mind will take any experience and co-opt it and corrupt it and turn it into its own religion or get caught up in its own mythology. And um, and so it's really, really wondrous to move to that space or to get familiar with the suchness of the moment as it is, as freedom, as awareness. Another dear teacher, friend named Candace O'Denver, says something along the lines of freedom as immediate perception, freedom in immediate perception. So notice the immediacy of your perception. This is it. This is it. It's wonderful that we have the huge highs and the big, expansive, sensational, all is one, of course. Uh, Everything's just one big synchronistic orgy. Um, whatever other sensations might arise. But notice that those sensations, just like any other sensation, comes and goes, has a beginning, has a middle, has an end. One of the things that I really, really appreciated that Gangaji was so vigilant towards and so persistent in communicating was this sense of, if something is appearing that feels new, that's a good clue that it will go. This is closer than a newness. This is closer than a new sensation or a new perception or a non conceptual state or a new energetic experience, a new vibrational experience. This is closer than a new perceptual poetry appearing as 3D, 4D, 5D. Oh, this reminds me of this really sweet video from a pastor in Africa that said something along the lines of, what did he say? He said, don't erase those people that you don't want to talk to anymore, that don't serve you anymore. Don't erase their name from your contacts. Just write no answer one, no answer two, no answer three, no answer four, no answer five, no answer six, no answer seven, no answer. And the whole congregation started dancing to no answer 11, no answer 12, no answer 13, 14, 15. It was like, yes. Yes, so sweet. So it's beautiful when we start exploring the option of not relying on mind feeling sensation as the evidence of our awakened reality. Sometimes we have a thought that says, oh, because I'm not in perfect peace, or because I'm not in the flow, or because I got athlete's foot, or because this happened or that happened, that means that I'm not fully myself. That means that I haven't realized who I am. That means that I don't have a clue. It's true, you don't have a clue, but not in that sense. It's really sweet when we move into the space and considering and opening to welcoming each sensation, experience, phenomena as the full, pristine display of freedom, of what is, of who we are. Doesn't mean that we don't exist with discernment, doesn't mean that we don't exist with discriminating wisdom, doesn't mean that we don't have opinions and that we don't vote and that we don't inquire and explore and reevaluate and march and say yes when it's yes and say no when it's no. It's about telling the truth now, the deeper truth, what's always here. It was really beautiful to hear Gangaji echo what I felt in my first ayahuasca ceremony, what I had experienced in ayahuasca. There was a moment where the part of the brain that wanted to objectify the experience and recreate the experience, like, oh, there's some good ass shit. How can I, package this? How can I take put this in a little bottle, take it home, drink it later? Like, I need this is real. This is something caught that mechanism of mind, that aspect of mind, projecting a future, projecting an identity, projecting cause and effect, living in the tres amigos of what I call the tres amigos of suffering consciousness, which is identity, time, and cause and effect. When the emphasis is on identity, time, and cause and effect, you can be sure you're living in a nightmare. Maybe with a spray of eau de parfum or eau de toilette. Florida water. Yellow number 5. Yes. Yellow. Are we still in July? No, July, you tell the truth. July, you tell the truth. I love it, July. July, you tell the truth. So yes, I was so happy and so wondrous. I'm gonna talk like this the whole sad song. May every being live in a peace and a harmony on the planet. It's like a mix between like Dracula and Charo. Arriba, para arriba, para arriba. Okay. What was I saying? Oh my god. Echolalia. And so, what a gift that something interrupted that could have taken 70 more years to see through. Could have taken me down a whole other rabbit hole of all kinds of. So wondrous that there was something that said, yeah, 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 yeah. That's wonderful. And what about this moment is the same as every other moment? What about this moment that you're tripping on ayahuasca and you're having tea with Lakshmi and then you just made out with Ganesha and then you just did this and did that and were in Tron realm and saw that every time you went, huh, sound connected with the whole universe and you were singing Boys to Men with all the insects in the jungle. And what about this is the same, man, when you're making toast, when you're clipping your toenails, when you're talking to your mama. Yes, even when you're talking to your mama. When you, when you're doing this, when you're doing that, when you're feeling blissful, when you're, petite mort. What's the same? What's the same? And it was really sweet to hear my sweet, sweet beloved teacher, Gangaji, echo that same invitation. It was like, oh, this is my own self, speaking to my own self. And how sweet that they know it. How sweet, how sweet, how sweet. So, yeah, it's just such a sweet life when this invitation appears, whatever degree it appears in, whatever degree. This ceaseless welcome home, this ceaseless welcome to being, to fulfillment, this ceaseless welcome to this just as it is, this ceaseless welcome to this intimate, unbroken intimacy with all of life, with the whole cosmos, with all of existence appearing here now. It's like, what's infinite loving universe? This chair, this microphone, this shirt, this floor, this whole moment, drenched, clear display of love in love with itself, the roar of existence, delighted in being, delighted in knowing itself like this. and like this too, and like this too, and oh, like this too, and like this too, and oh, like this too, like this too. All of it included. All of it included. It's so sweet to not have to be in some kind of like Nazi high vibe tribe. You know, that again has its place. Don't mean to make fun of it totally. Make fun of it a littly. But the sense of needing everyone to be high vibe and needing everything to be perfect and needing to zip yourself up in the presence of negativity as if negativity can exist anywhere outside of you. You know, the innocence of not recognizing the only thing we ever experience is our own story until we don't. And that song is the invitation for that till we don't. Because what's closer than the mind, what's underneath the projections of mind is this one self with itself, the self with self, not as a sentence in a Ramana Maharshi book or a Nisargadatta bumper sticker on a Prius, but a direct experience of the ease of, oh, how wonderful that we can celebrate the descriptions and the stories and the histories and the particulars and delight in the unique soul print of each expression and each path, and how beautiful to equally and deeperly know oneself. Oneself. Too close for any history, too close for any name, too close for any matching energetics, too close for a soul and its mate, too close. Anyone have something you'd like to share? A question, inquiry, comment? Dr. Seuss quote. Be, be, beloved beings of breath. The moment has arrived. The planets have aligned. There is nowhere to hide. Liberations Liberation's here. Mm. Beloved beings of breath, breath. The wish has now come true. There's nothing left to do but give yourself to truth. Liberation's here. Not to the truth of governments or religions and their leaders, not to the truth of yesterday, tomorrow war believers, but to the truth awake and vivid. Here is all that's perceived, the truth that knows your name and gives your lungs each breath you breathe. The truth that sets all stories free and only sees itself. The truth that sets our stories free with love and nothing else. Be still and know. Be still and know. Be still and know. I am, I am, I am beloved beings of breath. You always have been free. So caught up in this dream. Sometimes it's hard to see that liberation is here. The liberation that reveals liberation was never needed. For only things get liberated, only things get defeated. And you are not a thing that's in the realm of big or small. No, you are not a thing that comes and goes, not a thing at all. You're the truth. You're the truth that stares all in the face and only sees itself. The truth that sets all stories free with love and nothing else. Be still and know. Be still and know. Notice you are already still, and notice you already know that you are. You just are. Not needing a name to be, not needing to let go of any name to be, not needing body to be, not needing to let go of any body to be, not needing feeling to be, not needing to let go of any feeling to be, not needing a sense of okayness to be, not needing to deny oneself a sense of okayness to be. free, free now. All is free. This feeling free. This thought free. This sensation free. This sense of self free. This backjack free. Those socks free. This rug free. This smile free. This space free. This electricity free. All is free. How sweet. Sometimes we get so caught up in this idea of wanting to get free that we don't notice that even that wanting to get free is absolutely free to be itself, never needing to change. Desire for freedom can be here infinitely. So what? You still are who you are. You still are who you are. Anyone want to share something or anything come up? Fun. I'm doing really good tonight. It's so clear. Is this clear? This and this whatever's coming through? I love that. Isn't it exciting? Isn't it exciting that we can, for a moment, if we'd like, put down the self-improvement project? How sweet. And delight in the self-improvement project, if that's where our, we have a kink for suffering. How wonderful. How wonderful. And even just a kink to celebrate infinity in all of its expressions. How wonderful. There's a sweet little shift that occurs. Instead of engaging in things as a way to try to feel better or as a way to find peace or as a way to quiet the mind or as a way to distract the mind, as a way to avoid, indulge, or replace, using strategies of mind as a way to exalt mind. It is really sweet that we can dream and engage and enjoy and partake. But instead of doing it to get some kind of fulfillment or get some kind of freedom or get some kind of rest or get some kind of ease, it's all done as the celebration of freedom, celebration of ease, the celebration of wholeness, fulfillment. How sweet to consider I never have to read another motherfucking book my whole life in every any other lifetime that may appear. And I'm totally okay and free in who I am. I never have to know this school of thought, that school of thought, learn this skill or that skill. And I'm absolutely free and absolutely lovable and delightful and beyond any concept of worthy or unworthy. How sweet. I never have to heal anything. I don't have to heal one atom. And now, I am the perfect expression, display, the roar of aliveness, a health that knows no opposites, life itself. What an atmosphere of safety for the hologram of body to appear in, where this sweet body gets to completely be in whatever journey it's on. So sweet, these bodies, so innocent. So innocent. Yes.
I've just been playing with the idea of parting the water and not getting wet.
Oh, yes. Parting the water and not getting wet. Mm-hmm. How delightful. Yeah. Yeah, so fun. Parting the water, don't get wet. And then when that gets old, bring the water back together and get completely wet. It's so fun. It's so fun. Yeah, all included. It's so sweet to notice, my friend Deborah Silverman calls it Teflon. So sweet to notice that which has never been touched, only because it's completely willing to be touched. That which has never been interrupted, only because it's completely willing to be completely interrupted. I like to say the mind is at the feet of the medicine. This is ceremony satsang. Mind at the feet of the medicine. Mm. The medicine at the feet of what is, and what is at the feet of all, everything. Mm. Other medicine ceremony satsang, who you are as awareness, never touched by the medicine. I love to use Papaji's saying in my medicine moments, ceremony moments, where one of his pointings is imaginary medicine for imaginary disease. Imaginary medicine for an imaginary disease. And in that discovery, if you've never been touched by medicine, maybe you've also never been touched by the poison or the disease or the trauma. Free, timeless, vast expanse. Let's see what book I pick up from over here. Let's do a Hafiz moment. Someone give me a number from, I don't know, 25 to 331. 44. Yay, 44. Removing the shoe from the temple. Once someone asked me, why do saints seek divine annihilation and are often humble and like to spend their free time upon their knees? I replied, it is a simple matter of etiquette. Then they said, what do you mean, Hafiz? Well, I continued, when one goes into a mosque or temple, is it not common to remove what covers your feet? So too does it happen with this whole mind and body stuff. That is something like a shoe sole. When one begins to realize upon whom you are really standing, one begins to remove the shoe from the temple. I love that one. One begins to remove the shoe from the temple. The shoe from the temple. The shoe from the temple. This sky where we live is no place to lose your wings. So love, love, love. Love, 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 love. So fun. Love me some Hafiz. Yay. So I love this. This is so clear. Anyone else? Anything else coming up? Anyone have a rebuttal? Is there a butt somewhere? But what about my karma? But what about my vibration? But what about my Merkaba? Which is totally welcome. It's so fun to allow any of these latent tendencies, these sweet attempts to postpone what already is, to come forward. Another huge teacher of mine, Byron Katie, who I absolutely love, Miss Byron Katie. Yes, love.
Can you clarify cause and effect? Because
Uh-huh.
I find myself very drawn into the story
Uh-huh.
of cause and effect. I
So
feel like
good.
I've experienced it over and over
Uh-huh.
again, and it's very real to me.
I so love that. Thank you for your honesty. And can anyone else relate? Cause and effect. Yeah. Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah. And no difference. Cosmic destiny, that's a cause and effect concept. Death, that's a cause and effect concept. Yeah. So cause and effect is, it also ties into time, you know? So it's kind of like there cannot exist a cause and effect without the allegiance, whatever the degree is, to a time, another second from now. Like, in order for cause and effect to exist, it needs an atmosphere of when I, whatever, I will, whatever. And it always is a projection into what's not. So it's just a jump into mind. It's like mind attempting to squeeze itself out of its inevitable ecstatic release into the reality that it never was. So cause and effect is part of what mind does. It never needs to stop. But we get really skilled at noticing. Oh, look, mind is doing cause and effect. Uh, mind is caught up in, or mind is enjoying cause and effect themes of cause and effect. What can support, what can um, also be explored is the inquiry, what else is here? Okay, I understand that in the story, as the story goes, there's this cause and effect theme. And is there something here? Is there a part of me that doesn't need anything else to happen, to just be as it is right now? Is there something here that's free of the story needing to continue? Is there something here that's already okay, just as it is? What else is here other than mind? Is there an awareness of mind? What are the qualities of this awareness? Is awareness reaching for something? Is awareness pushing something away? Or is awareness just here as it is. Imagine for a moment softening, relaxing, the emphasis of cause and effect being such a pronounced way to navigate your experience. Mind will come in and say things like, well, shit, maybe you won't get nothing done if you're not caught up in cause and effect. Maybe you just stay on the couch all day. Maybe you won't even wipe your face when you start drooling. It may move into those different scenarios, and it can't be, a bigger lie couldn't be told. When we're not caught up in cause and effect, we are available as pure presence of solutions and hilarity and love and freedom and willingness and ease and kindness. Not once denying ourselves the luxury of the infinite abundance that appears just like this, every atom in its place. That allows for deeper and deeper, clearer and clearer. I'll use this word for the sake of language, but not totally that. Outshining, an outshining of the emphasis of mind, an outshining and relying on the intelligence of mind. And that outshining is, again, the shine of fulfillment here with itself. Is there something else regarding the cause and effect? Is there a particular thing you notice?
Well, so I've been of the mindset that how we, just the law of attraction.
Yes,
So
beautiful.
how we make ourselves available to something,
Mm-hmm.
or how we close ourselves off to something, and how we can either attract it or not attract it. So that to me is cause and effect. Yeah.
I so love that.
And
yeah.
then I just picked up my book, another book that I've had for a while, sitting on the shelf from Joe Dispenza, and
Yay.
really teaching, how if we think about a particular thing and rehearse
Right.
that over and over again, that it eventually turns from energy to matter
Mm-hmm.
and that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
just looking to see your thoughts on that.
I so love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a wonderful way for mind to enjoy itself.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that. How exciting. It's like a fun option. I mean, if we, all we ever experience is our story. And if we have let the story move beyond, especially if we're so conditioned to identifying with being someone and being identified with someone who's lived a particular kind of life or grew up in a particular environment or in a particular class or totally limited and totally feeling trapped and feeling like there's no way, there's no resources. I'll never be able to live that life, or I'll never be able to do these things, or I'll never be able to talk to the blue avians, or I'll never be able to, go in the eighth dimension and heal my whole family, or whatever the thoughts might be. Like that's not. So that has its place as everything's a permission slip. It's like everything's necessary until it's not. Joe Dispenza and law of attraction teachings, such a wonderful permission slip to soften. Now, it is very interesting though, because those teachings, no matter how expansive they may be, all of a sudden there's a wisdom that comes to that recognizes they're just as limiting as any thought of being stuck in a basement with no windows, because these are teachings that exalt the delusion of time, identity, and cause and effect. So it's still caught up in strategy. Oh, if you have the right thoughts, oh my God, I gotta have the right thoughts. If you have the right energy, oh my God, I gotta have the right vibration. I gotta really have the right vibration. Do I have the right vibration? Do I not have the right vibration? When I walked into the club, did I have the right vibration? Am I vibrating the frequency of a yacht? I think I am. Am I? In other words, where it's all. Do you see how that's all mind? All the movie, all the movie. And do you see how, in the emphasis of that movie, what gets overlooked? Freedom. No. Yeah. Home. And home may sound like such a huge thing, and it's not. You've always been home. So it may sound like, with these particular teachings, it's like, oh, get the better car, better car, better car, better car, better energy body, better energy body, better energy body, better thought forms, better thought forms, better thought forms, better belief system, better belief system. And that's true. How fun, how exciting. But it all falls apart. A house of cards the moment you tell the truth about who you are. Now, closer than any time, any form, any place. It's kind of like you need to experience better thoughts in order to be at peace. Is that true? No. You need to experience better energetic quantum matrices of infinite belief systems in order to totally be at rest as you are now. Is that true? No, it's not true. Yeah. And as we get more familiar with this, we notice, the great exaltation, never ending. There's a song that the Christians sing. What does that song say? Then the oceans, all creation cries, singing out an endless hallelujah. From this moment on, join with heaven's song, singing out an endless hallelujah. An endless hallelujah. It's like, how hilarious that in the simplicity of our being, this is an endless hallelujah. Oh, this too. The thought of a better there. Oh, that song even says, there's nothing better, there's nothing better, there's nothing better than this right now. There's nothing better, nothing better. It's like, it's okay to exist as there's nothing better than this right now, while still being fully available for this nothing better to forever and ever more delightful and obvious ways to continue appearing as nothing better. Sometimes we think if we choose fulfillment, we're putting our dreams in the corner. And it's just not true. It's not true. It's like from fulfillment to fulfillment to fulfillment. Greater and greater good, greater and greater good. More and more obvious. Yeah. Mm. Yay. So exciting, right? So exciting. For beloveds who are engaged in those teachings, how exciting. But just notice if you have this sense of, am I doing it right? Am I not doing it right? Did I get it right? Did I did it? And oh my goodness. And you can take a vacation from that. It's fun, the law of assumption. I don't know if you're familiar with the law of assumption. Neville Goddard. I don't know. I'm going to say Aaron Neville. I don't know what but I know I love you. Neville Goddard, I think his name is. But it's let's say a law of attraction. Put your ass in a trunk real fast. Law of of attraction, like more in alignment to the wholeness of what is, to no cause and effect, no identity, no time or space. So the law of assumption is the invitation to notice that. It's what I hear me telling beloveds who are exploring these concepts. I'm just like, congratulations. You've manifested everything. Yay, you did it. You manifested the whole shebang. You done manifested the whole thing. Look at you. The whole universe here. Every possible expression of the universe here. The whole multiverse here. Every possible expression of the multiverse here. Every possible timeline of timelines here. Congratulations, bitch. You done manifested the whole shit. You did it. You did it. You did it. You did it. And so with the law of assumption, it's meeting from that premise that, oh yeah, it's all here, while simultaneously it's all not here. Nothing's ever happened. That sweet, what is called the paradox. And in that, it's like it's just endless surfing. Any amount of anything is the infinite amount of that thing. If you have any amount of joy, it's all of joy. Have any amount of money, it's all the money. You have any amount of flowers, it's all the flowers. Any amount of sweetness, it's all the sweetness. You have any amount of freedom, it's all the freedom. Any amount. It's so wonderful. Totally full, all available, all available. Can never get it done. You will forever write love letters to yourself as every hologram, every expression, every opportunity, everything. Yeah. We have a few moments left if somebody else wants to explore something. Cause and effect, time. Isn't it wondrous, this allegiance to time? Identity, regardless of the identity. I met with a beloved who was so suffering and so sad because they identified as a seventh density being from the religion of the law of one teachings. And I say religion because it most certainly is a religion. Beloveds move into New Age teachings thinking, I'm done with religions, innocently not noticing mine's total innocent tendency to make everything a religion. There are fundamental Advaita Vedantists, there are fundamental Dzogchen teachings, the fundamentalism is this is another at the feet of my sweet root teacher Gangaji. And her emphasis on vigilance on this path. Vigilance. Tell the truth. Notice mind co-opting, corrupting, taking the most sacred sutras, tantras, the most sacred poems. Yeah. Vigilance. Yes.
I think the problem is not seeing it as fundamental.
Okay, right. Mine just wants to have fun.
You got it.
And so this beloved, back to my little story, this beloved was like, oh, I'm a seventh dimensional density being. I'm higher than Nisargadatta. I'm higher than Jesus. But I exist in a world where I see everyone suffering. And I notice everyone's suffering. And I hear the sounds of humanity's cries. And just say, oh, beloved. Oh, and I have to pretend to be pretty much like Clark Kent. I have to pretend to be clumsy and stupid and nervous and awkward, because if I was my bright seventh density self, no one would know what to do with me. The world wouldn't know it. I mean, it's so innocent. I mean, not noticing that that's total ego, one density ego. Uh, really? You hear other people's thoughts? Is that true, beloved? You sure that's not just your own mind you're listening to? Oh, the joy, the joy, the joy. Thank goodness you'll never be a seventh density being. You're lucked out. Thank goodness you'll never be above anyone else. You got real lucky there. Thank goodness you'll never be below anyone else. You got real lucky. Just here as you are. I loved having those conversations. Lord have mercy. Someone I had a session with a beloved who was talking about them reptilians, and oh no, what they're doing to the government and to the elections. And I was like, would you be willing to bring the reptilian so I can have a conversation with this reptilian? I'd love to meet this reptilian. I know. Gosh, what you got against slithering? It reminds me of a sweet moment when I was living in Iquitos, Peru, staying with this tribe called the Shuar, and I'm in this like very primitive hut, and I had a roommate that was a python that would come and go in the corner of this space. At first, when I first saw that python, I was like, "Oh Lord Jesus, is a python!" And I freaked out. And there was a woman walking. I was like, "Excuse me, this python here," and 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 she was just like, "Yeah, that's where he lives." And I was like, okay, that somehow that totally soothed my spirit. It's like, oh, that's just where I was like, okay, it lives there. It could have come and live in the hammock. He don't live in the hammock. He gonna live in the hammock with me. But I was there, and there was a moment where there was a shift in the atomic structure of my holographic experience. And instead of the hologram, this is but a hologram. We can say there's atoms here appearing in a particular way, and who knows what hologram you're experiencing, you're experiencing, you're experiencing, you're experiencing. Who knows? It's so exciting, so delightful. But there is a shift, and I wasn't beamed up into a mothership. I wasn't transported or teleported. All of a sudden, the atoms went, and I was on what you can say is a mothership. And it was this, you've heard the term galactic federation. There was this galactic satsang. It was before I knew what the word satsang was. But there was each expression of a physical form beings you would call draconians, reptilians, the tall whites, the grays, the blue avians, upside down triangle heads, the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, the all the different wondrous names that we have, and some that were more dense, some that were like just an etheric, just sparkle, a shimmer of consciousness, all expressions. But in this space, the only thing present, only thing real was awareness, was loving intelligence. There was no emphasis on the distinction of form or on the story of one's galactic culture or galactic civilization or on anything that separates us or makes us different than one another. In other words, the emphasis wasn't on mind. There was a clear recognition that that's a limited kind of intelligence, the intelligence of pockets of information and assumptions and make believe. The emphasis of this togetherness, just like now, is the emphasis of the open, this that has not been squeezed into a pocket of information or squeezed into symbols or words or bodies or energetic expressions or atomic expressions. Just the fire of being, fire of freedom, closer than any dream of a cosmos, any dream of one side of a galaxy and the other side of a galaxy, closer than any dream of one dimension, 2 dimension, 3 dimension, 4, 5 dimension, 6 dimension, 7 dimension, mo. So sweet. Yeah, well, I think we're good for today. Ended on that fun little story. Thank you, beloved, so much for this sad song. I just want to share. There's Aloha Was no Ashawaska. Is there any spaces left for Ashawaska?
Not this one.
Not this
we
one.
have Ashawaska 2.0.
Oh,
And
hey.
that's October
17th.
18, 19th, and 20th.
18.
We leave on
the
17th.
17th, 18, 19, and 20th. Okay, awesome. If you'd like to have a Ashawaska, non-dual ayahuasca retreat, it's a 4-day retreat, right? Or 3-day? 3-day retreat in Asheville, North Carolina, October 18th. That's when the leaves are changing, and that's amazing. Yay, October 18th through the 20th. Then that's an option that's still open. And yay. Also, just putting it out there, February 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Aloha Waska. So our Aloha Waska 2025 in Hawaii, on the big island of Hawaii. We just finished our 2024 Aloha Waska. It was so beautiful. So very sweet. That's something you can reach out and explore. Anything else? September's booked. Oh, March in Kauai, a 4E retreat with my dear friend Deborah Silverman. It's exploring the 4 elements, using the 4 elements as a process of inquiry to discover and deepen in that which is beyond the 4 elements. It's kind of like parts work, but using the primal elements, earth, air, water, and fire, as a way to notice different facets of ourselves, turn up the volume, different facets of ourselves, while honoring what's always whole. And that's in March. And I thank you so much for this set song. If you'd like to leave a donation in that little blue thing up there, you're welcome to. Beloved Julian has brought all these delicious pastries that you're welcome to enjoy. Or take home. Yes. It's so sweet. Thank you so much, loves. Blessings. Love you.